Hey, welcome to Goodbye Gluten.
Saying goodbye to gluten does not mean saying goodbye to great food and great taste.
So please like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to our channel.
So today we are going to make perfect fried chicken, southern style, and chicken nuggets. Okay, so this is what you're basically going to need for my awesome fried chicken. First, chicken. I got a breast I'm going to be sauteing up for later on. This is chicken nuggets. Basically, I cut one of these in lengths and then like that. So I got myself a couple of chicken legs, and they're about 4 or 5 inches long, so pretty good sized ones. You're going to need cornstarch. This is Argo. It's a nice gluten-free cornstarch. We like this one a lot. See, gluten-free. Now you're not going to need this much for this amount of chicken. You're only going to need probably about maybe a half a container of this. So about 1.5 cups, 2 cups. Depends on how you're making it. If it's just chicken nuggets, probably a little less. Okay, then you're going to need like some kind of milk or dairy milk or non-dairy milk. Silk organic one is a really good one. This is unsweet. You're going to need, or milk itself. I like making buttermilk. So basically I'm going to go drop in about 2 cups of these, one of, of that. And then basically about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of that. And it'll mix up really good. And we're going to go. Those are the onions I'm going to be making for onion rings tonight for dinner. But I make a lot and then set them aside and freeze them. Okay, then you're going to need about 3 cups of my handy dandy chicken mix. The description for the ingredients will be in the description below. And you're also going to need okay, so I just poured about 2 tablespoons. And here, I actually probably need a little bit more. Now, basically what this is going to do is thicken it up. If you want to use heavy cream, go ahead. I'm going to let this sit for about a minute. While that's doing that, I'm going to start prepping the chicken. Okay, one of the things I forgot to mention is you probably want to invest yourself in a nice cool candy thermometer, or cooking thermometer. I'm just going to put this right here. I'm going to turn this up to about a medium high. And I'm going to wait till this gets up to 350 degrees. And then we'll start cooking. Meanwhile, I'll start prepping the chicken. Okay, so this is basically my base setup. I have my chicken over here, and if you're wondering why it's on a rack, I'm actually letting the chicken legs dry out a little bit, so the moisture isn't going to be too bad, and then it'll actually get a little tacky, and that way it'll adhere to the cornstarch will adhere to it better. So it's going to go chicken, cornstarch, then into the mix. Then into the mix right here, the flour mix, and then I'll let it sit here for about 30-40 seconds or so, and then I'm going to put it on this little platter right here. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's a cheap pizza pan that you could get at dollar store, nothing big. And that's where I'll let the pieces sit for a minute while I actually have others frying. Okay, so you're going to need oil, about half of a pot full. This is about a 6-inch pot. Let's see, actually about 5. And I'm going to fill it up with about 2.5 inches of oil, cooking oil. And then I got a cookie sheet with a rack in it to basically be the draining cooling rack. This I got, you can find these at the Chinese stores and stuff like that. You know, it's basically a slotted wire spoon that I'll just pull the stuff out, help drain. To protect my stove, you get these little tin sheets. Alright, pretty simple. A little tin things. You get them at the dollar store if you want. They're pretty cheap. And that will protect your coils from getting coated with grease. Trust me. You don't want to be starting the fire when you turn those babies on. So let's get to cooking.
Go.
Okay, now the oil's already getting hot, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do just a few of these. Chicken strips are the same as chicken legs. Kind of shake off your excess. Don't let it get everywhere, and do not wear dark clothes when messing with anything like cornstarch. Okay? Now, some people say, you know, you got to have a dry hand and a wet hand, or use tongs. But what I like to do is, if you do this a while, you're going to start building up clumps, and that kind of makes it like extra crispy recipe, you know, from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Sorry if it's like really bright. It's like 5 o'clock here on the West Coast, and it is very sunny today. Now, one thing about your buttermilk, if it starts looking like it's coagulating or anything like that, just go ahead and grab a fork or something like that and just re-stir it up, and it'll be good to go. I like kind of like squashing it a little bit on there. Now, you don't want to let this breading sit too much. So, we got about 4 pieces. Yeah, perfect. 350. So, this pan's not going to hold all 4 pieces, I will tell you that now. So, we're just going to have to let it sit there. And I'm going to hit this for about 6 minutes. Okay, now as you notice it's frying, that temperature gauge went down a hair bit. So that's why you want to kind of maintain your heat level, is so basically that it doesn't cool off too much, because then it'll take longer to cool or cook. And then basically you might run the risk of having some raw chicken inside a cooked chicken, which sometimes I had to eat when I was a kid. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. As you see, they're rolling really good. Yep, staying at 350. So I'm going to just flip them, because as you notice, they'll start getting a little dark on the bottom. And we'll go for another 6 minutes. Okay, it has been 6 minutes. And as you see, nice and crispy chicken. Careful, because this oil is really hot. It is up to 350 degrees. So you want to let this stuff cool for at least about 6 minutes before you actually bite into it. Because if you look right here, you can actually see bubbling. So you bite into that, you're going to get some 3rd-degree burns. Okay, so I basically dropped the chicken nuggets in. Only did about 7 pieces because you want ample space for them to be able to cook in, the oil to cook around them. I'm only going to put them in for about 4 minutes. I will show you how big they actually are. If you notice, they're only about 2.5 or 3 inches long by basically 1.5 inches wide. Probably a 1/2 inch thick. Now, you can actually cook a bunch of these up at a time. Go ahead and then let them cool off, put them in a gallon baggie, and then put them in the freezer. That way your kids can just throw them in a toaster oven for a nice afternoon snack, or for a quick dinner while you and your mate are out and about.